Godzilla vs. Kong. One will fall. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'm reviewing. Yeah, I'm reviewing. Yes, I am reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. This is how excited I am. This movie, oh, was great. We're gonna jump right in. This is gonna be non-spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, though, please go see the movie before watching the review. That being said, yep, let's get right into it. This is directed by Adam Wingard, who directed The Guest, and written by Eric Pearson and Max Borenstein, I believe is how you pronounce his name, who wrote the first film in this series. So they wrote the original Godzilla movie for this Monsterverse. And this movie, dude, Godzilla vs. Kong, is a smash-em-up monster flick. This is sure to please the audiences, because, I mean, there is, like, this picture right here shows there's a ton of battles in this. This is some fantastic work that they've done. When the movie first starts out, we see that Monarch has moved forward with their projects, you know, for the different, like, for at least Kong, like the different Titans. But Monarch takes a back seat in this movie to Apex Cybernetics, whose motto is, "We're not going anywheres, and neither are you." So I was like, wow, that's actually pretty funny, because they're literally telling you, we're not going to go anyplace, but humans aren't either. So I actually like that. I chuckled when I heard that. And, you know, as the name suggests, they're working on different cybernetic projects, as we'll see out throughout the movie, and it goes along, because they do make these ships that can fly through this gravity well that you have to pass through before you get to the Hollow Earth. So you'll find that out as the movie goes along. But those are needed, so I thought that was pretty cool. But some other things really happen in this that are just fantastic. I honestly thought they were setting up another movie with Apex Cybernetics, especially for what happens at the end of the movie. So I really thought that was gonna like everything with them was gonna be really another movie completely, but it turns out it didn't. The pace in this was a little fast, I thought. I think if they had made the film at least 2.5 hours, it would have set up things better. For, like, instance, they quickly set up what happens to Skull Island and why Kong is in a habitat, a monarch habitat, and things like that. And this is also a slightly different universe than from Godzilla King of the Monsters movie. So this is a little bit of different than that universe. This is kind of more into the future, and it's a little, with cybernetics starting to take part in these movies. It really sets it up as a slightly different universe. So I think that they could have maybe set that up a little bit better as well. But overall, it was still, this was still pretty good. The pace just was, for me, was just a little bit faster than I thought it should have been. I honestly think this could have been a 2.5 hour movie, and they would have set things up a lot better. Especially for the premise of, like, why Godzilla's going on a rampage, and what's kind of going on with that as well. I think if they do come out with, like, an extended version of this, I bet you we'll see scenes from that they cut out that maybe set things up a little bit better. So that was one of my only critiques for this movie. To be honest with you, I actually really like the way they set it up. They also changed the way the monsters move in this as well. Like, Godzilla is a little bit faster. He's a little bit more agile. So isn't Kong. Kong is a little bit different as well. And they're their looks are slightly different too. Like in some parts it's kind of subtle, but then sometimes like if you're really looking, you can see like little differences in just the way they rendered these two titans. So I actually thought that was pretty good as well. So they really come out and they didn't spare any expense really from what I could see. This was a fantastic looking movie. Again, the effects in this were amazing. The CGI was so well done that, I mean, you can literally see like every single facial emotion on Kong's face. And when you look, when like they show the close up of his eyes, it looks like he's like thinking or he's like sad, even before he starts doing some stuff with communication, and I just was like, wow. And Godzilla, honestly, I thought looked better than in King of the Monsters. I really like what they did with these with the CGI in this. When we end up going down into the Hollow Earth, and even before that, like the CGI is fantastic. The light show that they do for going into the Hollow Earth, I thought was amazing. And then when you get to Hollow Earth, dude, it was fantastic looking. Every bit of it was absolutely fantastic looking. I loved it. I loved the creatures that they showed down there. There was two serpents that flew around that Kong had to fight. Sorry, I'm trying to make this as spoiler-free as possible, but I mean, these were just fantastic. The music in this was great. Honestly, the songs are great in this. The Godzilla theme was fantastic. We get some songs at the beginning and the end that I thought were a little funny. Like where Kong wakes up in the beginning and he goes to like take a shower real quick. They play like a really old kind of like little romantic song that I cracked up at. I thought it was kind of funny the way they did that. I'm honestly, the acting in this I didn't really have a huge problem with. The villains in this were fantastic. I mean, we get Walter Simmons and Maya Simmons. Walter Simmons is the head of Apex Cybernetics, and Maya Simmons is his daughter. They were both fantastic. Like, I was like, oh my god, type with the villains. I loved it. And we also get Nathan Lind, who wrote a book about Hollow Earth, and his brother tried to get to it, but something happened to his brother and that whole team. And we also get Madison Russell back along with Mark, her father, which we'll get into that a little bit. Bernie, I thought, was a fantastic character in this. I really liked him. I thought he was a good character. It really, honestly, should have been just Bernie and Madison, and not the other kid. Let me see if I have his name down. Josh. His character was a little redundant. Didn't really need to be there. I kind of, when I was watching it with a couple of friends, I literally asked what the kid was even doing there because he just wasn't really relevant to what was going on. But at the same time, Madison wasn't extremely relevant either. Like, Bernie's character had the right amount of wit. His jokes were funny. He kind of made both of the other characters that were with him, Madison and Josh, a little bit unnecessary. He brought a little more to what was going on versus Madison and them. But they were still in the movie because they were in the other movie as well. So that was my only other concern about this, was that they took characters from the last movie and kind of made them a little bit irrelevant in this movie. And it like with Monarch taking a back seat and everything like that, that happened in this movie, it kind of took away from everybody that they brought back from King of the Monsters to this movie. They didn't have a huge role in this per se. So I really kind of thought that was a shame because I think that they're good actors and actresses. But that's kind of why I said that I think this movie would have benefited if it was at least 2.5 hours. That would have been able to give them more screen time, more dialogue choices, things like that. I did think this movie was amazing overall, though. This was a fantastic movie overall. The level of destruction alone in this movie was sweet. I mean, seriously, all the battles that Kong and Godzilla get into were fantastic. The last half of the movie was nothing but straight fighting, and I loved it. And it took place in Hong Kong. That's what it was. Yeah, Hong Kong. I almost said Tokyo, but it was Hong Kong. And I mean, it was. I don't want to spoil it. It was so good. It was so good. This has a lot of homages to the older movies. Like, I haven't seen a lot of the older movies in a very long time, but I do believe that there were quite a few, especially with Kong, that they did homages to like his older movies. So I thought that was really good, and plus Godzilla as well. They did quite a few of the homages to that. To him as well for like the older movies. I did also like how they made Kong and Godzilla a little more human in this. I thought it brought a different aspect that we haven't seen yet with these two characters. What I didn't really like is in the beginning we do get like all these like the opening credit scenes and things like that. We get excuse me. We get like all these different pictures and stuff, and we see that Godzilla has defeated like almost pretty much all the Titans, but we don't know if like what happened to the Titans, if they just went, if they just went back to hibernating, or what happened. And so that I thought they could have explained a little bit better too. But I did like the opening sequence of it. I thought it was great as well. I honestly would give this an 8.5 out of 10. This wasn't a perfect movie by far, but it was still an amazing movie. I had a lot of fun watching it overall. I really did. I would recommend for anybody to watch this movie, especially if you're a Godzilla fan or a Kong fan, because this movie was just absolutely fantastic. It did quite well for all the homages, and it did justice to Kong and Godzilla in this. I absolutely loved this movie. Thought it was fantastic. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about this movie as well. And if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. Take care for now, everybody.